everybody, and welcome back to Red Devils TV. Now this is your video for the Manchester United vs Spurs preview match. So yeah, let's just get right into the video. So obviously Spurs are one of the best teams in the Premier League this season. Obviously you can tell that by their consistency. They're in the top four, they're a very good team at the moment. But there's a lot of Spurs fans that I've seen on social media where they talk about how even though they're winning games and grinding out matches, the way they're playing is very boring. And this got me thinking, because with Manchester United, for me as well, I don't find our games very exciting either, but at least they're grinding out results. So Spurs fans could be a bit more grateful for what Conte is doing for them. But I just want to compare it, because we kind of play similar in my eyes, where both teams, so Man United and Spurs, prefer to be on the counter-attack. They don't really like to dominate games. Obviously, Conte has coached Spurs to be more defensive and hit on the break, where Ten Hag has tried to drill into our players about being more aggressive, having all the ball, having most of the ball possession, like I said, being aggressive and having a lot of desire and fight with us. And Ten Hag wants us to control games, but right now the players that we've currently got, the last few managers that we've had have been under counter-attacking football. So you Jose Mourinho, your Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Ralf Rangnick. So these players for the last 3 or 4 years have mainly played counter-attacking football. So no doubt it's going to take a while for these players to adapt and learn under Ten Hag and the way he wants to play and Ten Hag's philosophy. But that still shouldn't be on. You should still but I mean, you can see that United with every game we're trying to play Ten Hag ball. You see the possession stats every single game starting to go up depending on the opposition. And from how it was in the in the first few games for Manchester United, our possession stats have gone way up. But United's only issue is that we don't do anything with the ball. We're not aggressive enough. We don't create enough. And that's where United are drawing and losing games in my eyes. We're only winning a game by the scrape of the neck. And is it frustrating? Yes, because with this style of play what Ten Hag wants to implement into Manchester United, you can win a game by 3 or 4-0 with the way he wants to play. And obviously the Premier League is completely different. Will Ten Hag's tactics adapt to the Premier League as a whole? Like, will certain teams be like a bogey team for Ten Hag where he catches them out? And for certain players, I feel like they've got bogey teams. So I said United can't really play against deep line drop back teams at the moment, where United have to control the ball and where we're passing it around and stuff, and United players seem to panic and have no creativity and no first thought of how to actually do something with the ball, should I say. So it's like Bruno Fernandes, for example. He'll either make a 40-yard Hollywood pass to either wingers to get a moment in, instead of linking up the play. So Bruno Fernandes, I think, really struggles against a deep line team. So when United have to break down a deep line team, that's where you see United struggle, because obviously we've got the high possession stat, we're taking quite a few shots, but we're not actually doing anything with them shots. It's just like a shot on target or a shot at a wall or a shot at a defender. And that's where the frustration comes in for United fans, because really we're only one really simple thing to actually get under the Ten Hag way, you can say, the Ten Hag ball. And honestly, it's just down to creativity. And when it comes to creativity, I feel like it's a massive thing that the players need to work on. It's communication, it's trust, it's skill, it's intellect, it's intelligence. So obviously it comes under a lot of things, creativity, and that's what I think certain players lack. Obviously we have creative midfielders in Bruno Fernandes, Eriksen and stuff, and obviously they can shine at times, but right now they aren't consistent enough with it. So yes, they are capable of doing it, but they're not making 4 or 5 crosses a game, or not a game, should I say a half. They're not making 4 or 5 crosses a half or passes to the forward half. And that's all. It's been United's issue for many years now, the graveyard shift. Our number 9 doesn't get enough service, and it's very frustrating because, like, if we don't get, like, Ten Hag must be seeing that Ronaldo isn't getting enough service. So either he's using Ronaldo as a pawn, like a chess game, where obviously he keeps the defenders on their toes and he wants to use his wingers to be his goal scorers. All the players just aren't doing what they've done for many years and actually passing to the forward. So with Ronaldo, he is one of, I mean, I can't really keep using that he's one of the world's greatest players. He was one of the world's greatest players, we'll say. He's still a very, very good player, and I think he can still bring a lot to Manchester United during this rebuild. But personally, I would make this his last season for Manchester United as a whole. And obviously, I'm going to make a contract video tomorrow, just talking about players and their contracts and who deserves a new contract, who doesn't, who would I sign a new contract, etc. So stay tuned for that video. But also, I've also noticed as well, just before we get on to the continue about the preview, that I have over 80% of people not subscribed to the channel. Now, when I saw this stat, I was like, 80%, that's a load. So please, honestly, if you actually watch my content and actually enjoy it, please subscribe. Like, it really helps out the channel. I really want to build a community. You can watch one of my videos and not like it, but please still subscribe, because it really helps out the channel. I really want to grow this channel and it would really help me out. But yeah, obviously I'm not forcing you to, but it is free. It doesn't come across with anything. You can even subscribe and turn the notification bell off. Like, you don't have to be notified when my videos are uploaded. But you know what I mean. But yeah, please, if you aren't subscribed to the channel and you are new and you enjoy the content, please don't be afraid to put in the comments. I replied to every single comment. And please just keep getting the name Red Devils TV out there. But anyway, back onto the video about Spurs. So, obviously, Manchester United recently played Newcastle, and Newcastle are a hard team to break down. I feel like Newcastle play quite a lot like Spurs, where they either go on the attack, or should we say counter-attack, or they play a deep line, and you saw that in the Manchester United versus Newcastle game. And what you saw was that for the first half, Newcastle were ruthless. They pushed and pushed and pushed, but they knew that they couldn't do that for 90 minutes. So they did that in the first half, and in the second half was always going to be, we'll drop back and go on the counter-attack. Now, will Spurs do this? Probably. It's probably around the same type of tactics. So I'm expecting around 15 minutes of pure domination from Spurs in the game as a whole. And I feel like it'll be at least 30 minutes of domination for Manchester United. Now, when you think of that, it sounds like a great statistic. We're going to have double the amount of time of domination what Spurs are. But I just know that Spurs will be a lot more defensive, a lot more organised, and obviously they're a hard team to break down. Look at their league record. They're doing really well away from home and at home. United don't have a very good track record at home at the moment. Hopefully that improves tomorrow night. But at the end of the day, how will Manchester United actually beat Spurs? Now, like I said, we've got to make sure that our fullbacks are on point. So, how do you deal with that? Do you play Malacia over Shaw for pace, or do you play Shaw because he's experienced? Dalot, well, the right back position we can't really do anything about because obviously we don't have Wan-Bissaka yet. And plus, I would play Dalot anyway, but Dalot's kind of getting one of them players now where I am getting worried about his fitness. Obviously, he isn't showing that, but he isn't as aggressive as he was. He isn't sliding into tackles. He isn't being, like I said, he isn't being aggressive. So, I want to keep an eye on Dalot and see how he keeps performing, because he seems to be quite tired and not as he's not getting as stuck in as much. But that just might be me overthinking. But you've got to stop the creative players in Spurs side, because with their counter-attacking system, they're 100% going to have to do quick passes, or their fast players are going to have to run from one side of the pitch to the other and try and score. because you know that that either Harry Kane or Heung-min Son will be near enough that halfway line to get that ball and charge our defence. Now, last year, our last game against Spurs, we won 3-2. Ronaldo got his hat-trick, Harry Kane scored a penalty, and Harry Maguire scored an own goal. It was a very good game, that, and obviously it was our most recent game. Will Ronaldo score a hat-trick? Probably not. Will any players score a hat-trick? Probably not. Would I like us to? 100%, but it's just a doubt. And especially after watching Ten Hag's press conference today, he obviously spoke about Martial still injured, Eriksen is still a doubt. He's obviously trained a little bit, but it was the first time he's trained today. Van der Beek should be back after this week, but for me it's just the ship sailed with Van der Beek now. He had his chance. This month was supposed to be his month. He was supposed to be the perfect player for rotation, and obviously he got injured somehow. I really want to know what happened to Van der Beek. And obviously Harry Maguire we don't know of yet. Hopefully he's back soon. I never thought I'd say that in my life. And Aaron Wan-Bissaka's still a doubt. So we've got quite a few players out still. So obviously you've got Martial, Eriksen, Van der Beek, Harry Maguire and Wan-Bissaka. So that's 5 players that are normally on our bench. So they'll probably be filled in with youth team players. And that's where I see that Ten Hag struggled with against Newcastle, because he brought on Rashford for Ronaldo, and obviously I don't know if that was to save him for tomorrow night's game, or it was just because Ronaldo wasn't getting any service. So it's a controversial one, but obviously Ten Hag only made 1 substitution against Newcastle, and that was a very frustrating moment for me, because you chose to have youth players on your bench, so why don't you give him a chance? That's how Rashford's career started at United. He was on the bench just from a youth player, and he got his moment. Martial, we bought him very young. Mason Greenwood, we'll say, for example. Obviously I don't want to talk about Mason Greenwood, but he's a player that can be an example that you can trust your youth players. And I think Garnacho, Zidane Iqbal, them players are actually decent enough to hold their own. And you bring them on for 10 to 15 minutes, they will actually put on a shift for you, I think. So it depends. I mean, it's hard because obviously Ten Hag can't make that risk, because obviously every game's a must win. But it's a frustrating one. But anyway, I've rambled on and off, but I'll get into my predicted 11 now. So obviously Eriksen, we were told that Eriksen is a doubt, so I wouldn't start Eriksen, because I feel like you'd rather not start him and bring him on for half an hour just to try and seal the game off. So I feel like Eriksen is a bit of an injury blow, and obviously Martial's also an injury blow, as well as the other players. But I feel like we can hold our own against Spurs. It's like I said, it's just going to be one of them games where it's whoever creates more and whoever takes their chances better. I think it's going to be one of them games. I feel like both teams will have quite a few shots. I'm going to go for about 10 shots each, but I'm still thinking Manchester United will be victorious, and I'm going to go 2-0 Manchester United. I feel like that United's defence are just really on point at the moment. Obviously Spurs are having a very decent defensive record as well, but I just think that Varane now, he's hopefully fully, obviously he's back now, but hopefully he's fully fit and back to the Varane that we saw against like Liverpool, etc. Martinez doing absolutely incredible as always. And yeah, I'll give you my predicted 11 now. So obviously I've got David De Gea, Diego Dalot, Rafael Varane, Martinez. I personally would play Malacia in this game just for the pace. I played Casemiro. I would play Scott McTominay because obviously his suspension is up, and Fred, you just don't play Fred whatsoever. Fred was abysmal. At number 10, I'd play Bruno Fernandes. Now the wingers, this is a controversial one, because I've just blabbed on about United lacking creativity, and to me Rashford isn't a creative winger. So would you play Anthony and Sancho, or Anthony, Sancho and Ronaldo, or would you play Anthony, Rashford and Ronaldo? Because I feel like Antony and Ronaldo are a must, no matter what, because you need quite a dominant striker in a game like this, I think, and that's where Ronaldo will hopefully shine. Antony for his pace, and obviously he can link up the play, and you see him making a few runs, and you see him trying to create something or take a shot, and Ante's one of my more confident forwards at the moment. But the question is, who do we play? Do we play Rashford or do we play Sancho? Obviously, Rashford had to come on against Newcastle on Sunday, and that was only with 20 minutes to go, and that was because he was ill. So would you challenge that? Because obviously, like I said with Eriksen has supposedly had coronavirus, or obviously he's just been ill, and obviously he's still not fully fit for tomorrow's game. So do you want to take that risk for Rashford? He might still be feeling a bit under the weather, just getting over this illness. I'd start Sancho just because I think that he did okay against Newcastle. He had one of his better games over recent months. So I'd give Sancho a chance, and then it'd allow you to put Antony on the left and Sancho on the right, and then they can whip in crosses that way, maybe. I've seen him do it before. Or maybe you could even put Sancho in the middle and Bruno on the right or left to create for Ronaldo. I just think that the service for Ronaldo is going to be key in this game. Obviously, I'm not saying give every single ball to Ronaldo. Obviously, other players can create and take shots too. But Ronaldo will be the difference in this game, I personally think. And the players, without Eriksen, lack creativity. And I think that's where United are going to struggle. But anyway, I'm also going to quickly do my combined 11 for Spurs and United. I did make a separate video, and obviously I've not said this in the video yet, but I made a few videos today and it cocked up. So sorry for my language, but it messed up and I've had to re-record them all. So yeah, I made a separate video for Spurs and United's combined 11, but I'll just do that in this video. It's a preview. So I would go for David De Gea. I would go for Diego Dalot. I'd go for Rafael Varane. I'd go for Martinez. I'd go for Perisic. I'd go for Casemiro, Basuma, Eriksen, Kulusevski, Kane and Heung-min Son. So that is my combined 11 for Manchester United versus Spurs. Let me know what you think on that kind of combined 11. But apart from that, what else can I really talk about? No, that's pretty much all we can talk about really. I've said that United will win 2-0. I personally think that Manchester United will get this game over the edge. I think United will score in both halves. I think United will probably score around the 15th minute mark, and then we'll continue to score our second, I'd say the 60th minute. I'd say between the 60th and the 65th minute, I think, and United will win 2-0, because I honestly think our defence will be on point. We'll be very solid defensively. I just want to talk about, again, you know how much I like Casemiro. He's a player that doesn't get you headlines, but he is absolutely crucial to Manchester United. And I don't know what we'd do if we went back to McTominay at holding midfielder. You'd see the difference more from McTominay playing in Eriksen's position than McTominay playing in Casemiro's position. That's just my opinion. I know Eriksen's a vital player to Man United, but I personally feel like Casemiro is more important than Eriksen with what he does defensively. Like I said, he doesn't get you headlines, but he changes the game for Manchester United. He breaks up the play. He takes the ball off the back four and he passes it forward. He's averaging the most forward passes in our midfield. So he's averaging more than Bruno, more than Eriksen, more than McTominay, and more than Fred. So what does that say to you? He makes a difference in my eyes, and I personally think that United would struggle a lot more if we lost Casemiro over Eriksen. But let me know your thoughts on that in the comments. I'm really looking forward to the game. Obviously, the match reaction will be out tomorrow. So yeah, thank you for watching today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.